Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and today we're gonna be looking at babies in art. Like when people think of like babies in like works of art, the first person that comes into their mind is well, I don't know what comes into your mind, but for me is Bartolomeo Esteban Murillo, and here he is, and this painting is the Madonna in Child. He was a baroque painter from like the 1600s, and a lot of like his paintings of babies and even Madonnas, they're still not Madonna the singer, Madonna as in the Virgin Mary, and a lot of his paintings are still used as devotional pieces in like the Catholic Church. So like they really like the way that he painted them, especially his rendition of the baby Jesus and also of the angels. Here's another very naturalistic like baby in art. This one is by William Adolphe Bouguereau from like 1825. You could almost see that it's almost photorealistic considering and he's not so much a baby but more like a toddler level. But baby, toddler, potato. It's only 1 year difference. you know? And even the goat, even the little lamb, oh God. Which is a great song, by the way. But yeah, let's listen to the Lamb of God. It's a very heavy metal. But yeah. And over here we have Jupiter in the guise of Diana and Callisto by Francois Boucher. And then over here you see the little chubby cupids. Well, those are not the babies that we're gonna be looking at today. Nope. Oh yeah, and Mary Cassatt with her baby 1910. No, today we're gonna be looking at like weird medieval babies and weird Renaissance babies. There was like a time period in well, a very long time period because the Renaissance period, not the medieval ages was like 1,000 years. And this trend of not being able to draw babies in like a naturalistic fashion continue also well into the Renaissance. And so much so that they're even like do fancy memes about it. But why we shouldn't depict it that way? Like art historians think that the Renaissance painters were not interested in, and also the medieval one, monks were not interested in realism. That they were just more church expressionistic stuff of devotion. But that's just saying that they didn't draw babies well because that wasn't the fashion of the day. I think that they didn't draw medieval babies well because these are monks living in the monastery in like which is in the middle of nowhere in like the woods. Like where are they gonna find a baby to like sketch for their painting? So the babies look like that because they're drawing a small human child based on their memory. So you try to draw something based on your memory and see how it comes out.
A lot of patrons they like to ask for them to be featured as the baby for some reason.
Oh yeah, like a lot of people who like pay for like religious art, they wanna to show up there somehow. So sometimes it's a small human. Sometimes they would either show up as the Virgin Mary, or if it was a guy, then I'll put my face in like the baby Jesus so that my likeness lives on forever, and then I'd be like, okay.
The check clears on that.
That's check. Well, I don't think they had checks.
But I mean,
Because they had
blondes are real.
the blondes are weird. Because they didn't have well, at least in Europe with like the medieval system, they didn't like the banking system. But I think the Romans did have banks. But then, like, everything went to hell, and like even within certain regions, they had like you went from one feudal to another, and then like the coin, your coins were literally worthless because each feudal lord had like his face minted on like the coin, and then it'd be like, if you wanna do trade here, you gotta like use my currency, and obviously like the conversion rate between each of the feudals, especially if they were fighting, it was terrible. The long and short of it is that I think a man couldn't find a baby to like sketch baby Jesus to save his own life. This one is 500, the year 500 Virgin Mary and the infant Jesus. Alright, and then we eventually jump to like the Renaissance period where like the weird medieval baby trend continue. And here's like the baby Jesus. You gotta put it in quotes. And like reading the Bible, cause like they say, like other historians they be like, oh, but like Renaissance painters they made babies cute again. Some painters did make them look better, but but it took them a while for them to relearn how to paint babies because like especially in the early Renaissance, they were not painting from life, you know, like Leonardo da Vinci has to make it fashionable for like people to sketch from life, and Leonardo da Vinci has like that famous painting where like he has a whole sketch of a baby inside the mother's womb, you know, like anatomistic drawings. No, but they're still not sketching from life. They're drawing people and women from memory, and maybe even the face of the woman is probably like a guy in drags or something
Well,
as a reference.
there is a different abstraction with Jesus, where they had Jesus as swole, incredibly physical to his body, and that also translates to the babies because will give the babies pectorals because you always gotta draw Jesus with like a
Yeah. You can.
so like you get babies like the babies from the 300 that came out with their pectorals and everything.
This one is by Filippo Lippi, the animation. This one's like a little bit more normal looking, but it still looks like a bit like a little person. Wearing a dress, like a little person, and also like they try to make like even his expression is more. He's like thinking. He was born thinking 5 seconds ago. So, there was a concept that like Jesus was like the perfect human, and then so then obviously he was since he was born perfect, he has to be born as a miniature adult, and then he just got bigger, not as a normal baby, because they can't draw the Lord and Savior looking as a normal human child because they be like, no, he wasn't a normal human child. He was like the Messiah, so he's got a little.
Born a magic and grew big.
Yeah, like a short person.
Makes no sense.
Whatever, though. That's no point. That's just the way people thought back then. And here's 1477 Veroso Gosoli. And then once again we got the baby Jesus that
Putting the face of the person who paid for the painting.
yeah. It just doesn't look like a not even as a toddler even. It just looks like
On my face on Jesus, he said, "But he's a baby, sir.
so.
Make it happen."
I made yeah, I made like I paid for the painting, for devotional purposes. But he want to show up in the painting, but it's not but all of the other faces are taken, so they be like, oh well, I guess I'll take this part of. Like, you remember those like weird cutout scenes that you see like in amusement park that has a hole for people to stick their faces out of it? Think of a lot of like religious paintings in the Renaissance where like it wasn't being paid by the Catholic Church but by the donations, so like the nobles and the Medici. Then that's when you start getting like weird in the church painting. That's when you start getting like faces of like adult contemporary people. Cause yeah, they pay for the painting, so they're gonna show up there. This one is the Madonna and the infant Saint John and baby Jesus. Yeah. And this was look a little bit more naturalistic, but they went weirdly ham on like on the legs. It almost looks like that is sketch an overweight adult. And then they be like, well, because no baby has especially this dyslexia. No baby has this weird way of like having the yes, babies have fat legs, but they don't look like that. That looks more like the cankles. Remember in Family Guy, the cankles? Well, look at that terrible joke. And yeah, and this guy, yeah, and this guy looks more like a short person. But at least you can start at least by 1487 you start seeing that they're trying like by 1% to make the small to make like the baby resemble an approximation of a human child. This this one is Back to the All Star 1497, Andrea Mantenga and the Infant Redeemer. Yeah.
Andrea, so this was drawn by a woman, right?
No, it's a dude.
Oh,
No, she was allowed to paint anything. At least up until like Artemisia Gentileschi and Judith Leister, but that's during the Baroque period. But during the Baroque period, everyone was being a contrarian to like the Catholic Church. So it's so much to the point that they be like, well, you said that she can do something. Well, we name Teresa Gentileschi and some other chicks in England, and then we made them like have very prominent art people. Cause they're angry at the Catholic Church cause of the selling of indulgence and a bunch of and the Medici turning the Catholic Church into their own personal piggy bank.
yeah, Martin Luther, Erasmo Rotterdam, and the 95 Thesis.
And like people act like they didn't like the people who broke off and formed their well, except for the King Henry VIII who just wanted to get rid of his wife so he can see other women and then decapitate them when he gets bored.
Just say it like.
Except for the British, the other people who founded their own Protestant, their own Protestant religion, they had a legitimate reason for like being angry at the Catholic Church, cause
I love the gall of the British. They're like, I will become pope of my own religion.
oh yeah, so that he can like kill murder yeah.
Many people, as many women that I don't like as I.
So that he can date and murder as many women. Like, he couldn't decapitate his queen over such a petty reason, but he definitely put it to the. Why are we talking about Henry VIII? Moving along. This one is Andrea del Santo, Madonna and the infant. Here's the baby Jesus with like Jojo pectoral.
Yo te lo cuyo when los saqué.
Yeah.
Part of that trend of like giving Jesus a ridiculously JoJo Bizarre Adventure bodies.
Yeah. This is the Jojo's Bizarre
In
Band.
those ages, they painted Jesus like Giga Shad, which like ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
Like Giga Shad Jesus in medieval art.
Yeah, just painters complaining just how swole could they make the Lord and Savior. They found the biggest beefcake in contemporary time, and they be like, well, that's the guy that has to model for like the crucified Jesus, cause like, never mind the Passion of the Christ, like what people came to see is Jesus without his robe. Whatever. It's getting a. Yeah.
In current days, if we were in that standard Arnold Schwarzenegger would be Jesus.
Yeah. Like if we were using like Renaissance and Baroque standards, the one who had to play Jesus had to be like the biggest beefcake on the planet. So yeah, so that he looks.
I have a question for Michelangelo. Where do you find a human being with a 16 pack? It's like
Yeah. Like Michelangelo's paintings are weird. So yeah. He's that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure guy of like Renaissance painter, but because of how even the Virgin Mary has 6 packs. But yeah, moving along. This one is Botticelli, the Madonna and Child with Madonna and Child and Baby Jesus, yeah, and Saint John. Look at that face. I don't know that if that wasn't a little person's face, then I don't know what is.
I think that's one of those where the artist wanted to be Jesus, and I said, "But sir, Jesus is a baby in this." I said, "I don't care. I this painting, and I want to be Jesus."
Yeah. Yeah, and then and even like Saint John be like, are you looking at? Is that bad? Are you looking at the same thing that I'm looking at? This does this shadow look alright to you? Does this?
Yes, it's shopping for the painting, therefore that makes it Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was just a weird trend that was back then.
Two trends. The creator of the painting had the face of Jesus, and Jesus needed to paint with pectorals, so then he ended up with babies
Joyous Bizarre Adventure, baby.
with adult heads.
Yeah. Well, also they said that like all the historians they said that like during the medieval times that they saw children as miniature adults, but then in the Renaissance period they saw children as born innocent, and that's why they tried to make them like look like regular looking babies. But no. The weird, bizarre looking baby trend continued well into the Renaissance period.
Even after they had made all of those humanistic changes, they still couldn't draw babies for you.
They're still gonna draw babies to like save their own life.
Plus, they were at the mercy of their patrons, and you know what it's like to work at a job, and then suddenly the boss is like, "No, I want this way." And it's like, "That was like an instance. I don't care.
I don't care. I don't
If
know.
I tell you my face is gonna be on Jesus, you're gonna draw that."
You're gonna paint that.
And that was what was going on. It was
Oh,
interference.
studio interference. Alright, this one is a huge parade of weird. Not just one, but another. Yeah, look at this one. Looks like a little drunk, a small drunk person. This one is drunk. This one is also looks drunk. This one is drinking
Drinking out of Brian Maris's boob as if he was a.
jug. Drinking out of the jug like it's a drunken jug. It's like, but yeah, but damn.
Just too happy about it.
God. Like she probably saw how she was probably drawn last, and then she'd be like, "Wow, is that how you draw children?" I don't feel like the mystery of this one is like the mystery of the disdainful raising an eyebrow. The Virgin Mary. Wow, and that's not a good type of wow. This was Marco Sopo.
Like, you know how people complain about how they draw women in anime? Well, watch how they draw them in like Mexico Renaissance here.
Yeah. This one is another weird little mutant baby by Martin Sugar. I can.
Long stupid name.
1500. It seems like a German name. But yeah, we're small little old man baby.
So you can see this person went to Egypt for inspiration to draw that baby. it's like,
Yeah, the weird alien baby. So the children of Nefertiti. This one is Robert Campen 1500. Once again, like the body is like a very skinny like adult, and then but then they just over gigantamass the head in order to make it look like a baby. Oh, and that doesn't make it any better. This one is another beefy baby, another like beefy baby, but it looks more like and look at like the legs. They look more like the legs of an adult. Looks like Michelangelo painted it. 1442, Domenico Beosefuni. Once, yeah, our baby doesn't resemble a human child, and even the head looks like a small person.
Yeah, you can tell like 3 different body parts used. The torso of a baby, the head of a woman, and the legs of a guy.
Yeah, this one is by Benevuto 1550. And it almost looks like the baby passed away and she's like putting a cloth over his face. But it just maybe they did use that.
No.
Does it look like alive, or does it look like a small little person sleeping?
I don't know. It's like she's about to like cover his head because he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, how many people cover the baby's head when they're asleep? Only the ones who want to kill him.
Yeah, it does look weird,
And also the coloration, it's
Yeah, he doesn't have like a healthy color. I mean, they tried to make the face like reddish to like make it more look alive, but
like the academics and the people in school in art schools, like they paint these people to be like the greatest painters of all time. They couldn't draw for shit.
Well, it's babies. Here's another weird looking rendition of this one. Just looks like an overweight person and even the head wasn't even made smaller.
Yeah, it's just a giant.
That's just a little person that they propped up in order to pose for the painting. Cause like the head size is not like the, cause usually the baby's head is bigger. So if they didn't even change the head, it's just literally 100% a little person that they propped up to act as a baby.
Also, a lot of these painters they like to use the golden ratio for proportion of every person they drew, but the golden ratio proportion doesn't exist in babies yet.
Yeah,
So
cause they haven't grown.
so when you try to do that on a baby, what you end up getting is well,
This guy. 1561 Paolo Veronese, the Holy Family. Yeah. But yeah, we're
oh yeah, and not to all of the Renaissance artists out there. The golden ratios need to be everywhere.
in fact, I don't think it's everywhere. If it just feels like they're trying to, or even a modern artist, that they're just trying to fit the golden ratio into everything when it doesn't exist. It's just something that some Renaissance guy came out with like 1500 years ago, and then suddenly it became like canon and law.
Yeah, and then they shoehorn it into mathematics with the e to the negative pi r minus 1 equals 0 equation.
Uh, but most of the time that's not even used with modern mathematics, because the newer mathematics they
Wait, why are we talking about math? We're gonna skip.
well, because it's the Renaissance. The Renaissance were all about people who thought they were mathematicians. So then they tried to show them math into everything. I think they were more than math. They were doing
Lead paint that they use in order to.
yeah. Hold on, this one is 1617, the Suaro twins.
Are they dead? Those
No,
are mortuary groups.
no, they just in the little. No, that's how you used to like overstuff your babies in like little mummies. They don't really know who painted it. They just
He wasn't proud of it, so he like kept the name.
yeah. You want me to yeah. Also, like one is more redder and the other one's lighter, but they're twins, so ah yeah, maybe that's the cause,
One of them drank from the wolf milk and the other
or maybe one of the servants put their child, the newborn child, into the maternity ward while the noble woman was passed out, and then she be like, "Oh, you had twins, but in fact, the woman is now raising the peasant child as well."
That's
So yeah, that could even be a that could even be a story.
I'm pretty sure a woman will remember giving birth to two people, sis.
Not if she passed out during prayer, doing the, and then they can just lie. Not if she passed out while giving birth without modern medicine.
But
Who wouldn't pass out giving birth to a human child without medicine? Here's more babies. 1621, but they don't know the painter any. They're quadruple born. But then one of them, since one of them didn't survive, he was like put over there, and that's why he's in water, while the other ones are like in those weird robes. Just a weird baby painting, but the noble people they be like, by this Baroque period, the noble people wanted like portraits of like their children and stuff, but they look more realistic, but they're still carrying some of the proportions.
yeah, I mean,
So
it has 9 heads proportion, even though babies.
even though
Yes,
yeah, like the golden ratio doesn't make any sense. Like, see, they just had the baby shell, but the face, but the rest of the height of the body just looks like an adult.
yeah, I bet they had it correctly, and then the painter was like, "Yeah, but that's not proper proportion. I want you
Yeah, golden ratio.
to use the golden ratio because my babies are awesome." It's like, okay,
Whatever you pay for this, I'm not putting my name on it. Bye. Yeah, because and they don't know who painted it, so obviously the painter be like, I am completely disassociating from this train wreck. I don't want to put my name.
I don't want a crazy VTuber 20 years, 20 million years into the future talking bad about my art.
Yeah, this one is 1637. The infant Jupiter fed, fed gold by Amalthea. This is Amalthea, and then this is the infant Jupiter. I don't know. There's just something weird about like the anatomy. Yeah, it just looks weird. Like it still feels like a little person.
No, but like I'm talking about the model too. It's like
Yeah, like the woman also, it's just very weird. Like she has a big torso, but like the arms and legs are very skinny. Usually, when you have a big torso, you also got like flabby. Usually, whatever. Moving on. Unless she's, this one is 1750 Nicolas Maes, portrait of a baby girl in a Venus carrier. So yeah, yeah, that was okay. I just wanted to show you because
painting is a bad.
yeah, I just wanted to show you this one because it made me laugh. It just seems like silly on a carrier being pulled by dogs. Just a very silly baby painting. This one is 1817. George Frederick was innocent, and once again we see a return of like the head is too small for like the George's Bizarre Adventure body of the baby. So I guess this painter couldn't like get a baby for his portrait to save his.
From memory.
Yeah, he drew the baby from memory.
You can also see the 9 heads proportion on a 3.5 heads baby. So.
Yeah. They did the golden ratio. Big mistake. This one is 1888. Van Gogh. Mother Roland with her baby, 1888. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is Van Gogh. He actually did a good job with that one.
Yeah, it looks nice-ish. Kinda. Let's look at it from further close. Until I change your mind. Did he draw the baby, alright?
Okay, the lips are all over the place. What is this Van Gogh? How many billions of dollars is this painting worth?
Well, he was practicing, so it's fine. You know, you can't judge a practice drawing. It's not. He didn't even sign it. Moving on. This one is Harry Clark, and
Christ.
and that it looks and that well, the resembles a small human child. It could be a baby. Could
Like the anti-virgin and the anti.
I don't know, man. Also, like with the black eyeliner that the baby had, it scares me. That small child scares me.
Yeah, that's Damian Wayne.
Yeah, so yeah, you can find in literally all across time people who painted a baby from memory. And here we have the rest.
Is that a baby growing two baby heads behind it, or what's going on there?
I don't know, man. I'm just as confused. I'm just as confused as you are. And this one has like weird skinny arms.
That's a cat. They use a bald cat to make the baby.
Yeah.
You know, cats.
Oh, and I remember seeing a meme online about this painting specific, and it says that these two they resemble Nicolas Cage trying to feed himself.
Like you got the A, B, C.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, they say that the face resembles Nicolas Cage. I don't see it. Do you see it? But in the comments, you see it. This one resembles Nicolas Cage. This nightmare fuel, this Byzantine looking baby. But yeah. And then here we have other ones. Oh, this one here is like very silly looking.
It's an old man with a baby in a baby's body. That's
Yeah.
what's even going on there?
Yeah, here's a fig.
That is clearly the patron of the.
Yeah, it has way too many wrinkles in the neck.
That is clearly the person who commissioned the painting saying, I want to be Jesus. And it's like, sir, Jesus is a baby.
Oh, and even wrinkles on the eyes.
What is even going on here?
Yeah, I know. It's like a silly fruit for my silly little old man baby. And
you would think this is AR, but no, this is an actual person.
Yeah, Okay, here's another baby, and but his anatomy is kind of weird.
No, no, yeah, he's
Yeah. His body's.
that's McDonald's cover right there.
And here's another one, the little man one.
Little man with pectorals.
Yeah, pectorals.
That baby went to like the 300s and trained with Leonidas baby there.
And here's some other ones. Even Jesus has issues in this painting. Like it's like he can't decide whether he's beefy or fat. Cause think about it, he has the pectorals here, but over here that's a weird piece of flesh, protruding forward. It's like I don't know. Like what we're supposed to focus in on, like the weird baby feet, the weird
Yeah, but
baby
this is
feet.
the artist master. This is who they tell us are the best artists in the history of the world. Who should we be imitating?
Yeah,
I can think of at least 100 people on DeviantArt who can draw better than this.
and this,
Baby and twin.
yeah, this one has a receding hairline. Hi, look at my little old man, baby. Well, Jesus dropped that, like, they crucified him at the age of 35, so he wouldn't. 33. Yeah, I forgot which age he got crucified. Whatever. So he wouldn't have a receding hairline ever,
Or as a baby.
or even as a baby, because he died young. And fabulous. Like Marilyn and swole because he's a carpenter and a fisherman. You ever seen a carpenter and a fisherman that are not ripped? Yeah. Canonically, Jesus has to be ripped because of his profession and the fact that he was walking everywhere. you know,
Hard.
he had like a lot of cardio. So of course he was gonna be like in the best shape of his life. I tell you, here's more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, baby. Here, this one,
Dami,
Victor,
yo te lo cuyo as a child.
and then this one.
That was
The
Antichrist.
wait, I went too far.
Oh, what's wrong with his hand?
Oh, let me see. Not the hand. What I want to show you is this kid's eye. This eye is looking this way, and this other eye is looking up, and like, why does he have like elf ears? And even this Madonna also has like pointed ears, like some type of demon
Yeah,
or
he's
elf.
the anti-virgin and the antichrist.
Yeah,
And he's canonically an anti-virgin. It's called the whore in the
yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, they never read the fun books in church. Well, actually, the last time we went to church for like Mother's Day something, they started with apocalypse and then they be like, "Whoa, this escalated quickly." Yeah, you know that the church is serious when it starts with the apocalypse. Wait, it's like, well, see, since they're bad in like your religion and stuff, when like the priest starts the day by saying in apocalypse, I say, oh,
Things are serious.
yeah, like cue the boss music. Oh yeah, so then yeah, those are the last medieval weird babies that I wanted to show you. Bye bye and God bless. Stop right.